And this is the latest news coming in. The Supreme Court of India has said it is unfortunate that a public discussion is on about an impeachment motion against India's top judge, Deepak Mishra. India's apex court has said it is disturbed with the recent events. Reports say that the Supreme Court has asked the Attorney General of India, K.K. Venugopal, to assist it on the matter and to see if the parliamentarians and media can be restrained. This follows a key meet called by India's opposition parties in Delhi to take a final decision on moving an impeachment motion against Justice Deepak Mishra. Over 60 lawmakers of the upper house of parliament belonging to 7 political parties have signed the notice for impeachment proceedings against the CJI in the meet. Congress and other parties met Vice President and Upper House Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu and gave notice for impeachment of Chief Justice of India after the meet. Senior Congress leader Ghulam Nabi Azad hit out at the current government and Chief Justice of India.
About a week back. So we have moved a motion for impeachment for the removal of Chief Justice of India under 5 listed grounds of misbehavior. We have sought his removal under Article 217, read with Article 124, bracket 4 of the Constitution of India.
And to give us more details on this news story, I'm joined in by our legal correspondent, Jessica Taneja, who joins us live from the newsroom. Jessica, it's been a very crucial day for the impeachment motion issue. Run our viewers through the day's happenings.
Well, Akansha, it's been a very dramatic day, and within the judicial walls as well. We've seen that senior opposition Congress leader Ghulam Nabi Azad has come out and held a press conference wherein he said that he has sent in fact 64 signatures to move an impeachment motion against the current CJI. He submitted those to the Vice President, also the Chairman of the Upper House, Vice President Venkaiah Naidu. Now, whether the Vice President or the Chairperson accepts that or not is another thing, but an impeachment motion has been moved against the CJI. Let's also remind our viewers that he's the only CJI, the Chief Justice of India, in the history of this country, against whom an impeachment motion has been moved. And what lies ahead, only one knows, but we can always explore as to what, according to the Indian Constitution, might happen or might not happen.
Right. Jessica, the impeachment motion has been moved under 5 grounds of misbehavior. Would you elaborate for our viewers about these 5 grounds?
Well, we heard senior Congress leader and also senior lawyer Kapil Sibal give out those 5 points. He said, of course, the unprecedented 4 judges PC, which happened in January earlier this year, where the 4 judges had expressed concern over the functioning of the highest judicial, office, which is the Supreme Court. The 4 judges had said that the CJI is one among equals. And just a quick recap, they also were concerned about allocation of certain cases to certain specified benches for obtaining favourable orders. So, of course, the CJI has been receiving very negative press around this, but Kapil Sibal said that, one cannot lay the trust off the judiciary because the people of the country do trust the Supreme Court with all its orders and for justice that people seek often, and that the conduct is a bit doubtful. So these are one of the few pointers that have been the grounds to move an impeachment motion against him.
Right. Jessica, also joining us on the phone line is Justice S.N. Dhingra. Let's quickly go across to him. Justice, how do you see now that the impeachment notice has been finally submitted to the chairman of the upper house? How do you see things moving forward now?
This impeachment notice is just a gimmick. Both all the parties moving this impeachment notice know that they don't have numbers to carry the impeachment. So what they want is that they should be able to get it admitted so that they can see within the parliament, they can make all kinds of nonsense speeches, which they cannot make outside. You see, they want parliament protection. Otherwise, why they cannot say the same thing in public which they want to say in parliament? Are they going to succeed in this motion? Not at all. They don't have numbers. And what is the purpose? The purpose is only to get protection of the parliament and to make speeches which are baseless.
Right. Justice, also our legal correspondent Jessica Taneja would like to pose a question over to you. It's over to you, Jessica.
Good afternoon, sir. It's important to sort of highlight the fact that he's the first CJI in the history of India against whom an impeachment motion has been moved. How do you see this and what does it really say? Because we're talking about a senior officer of the highest judiciary of this country.
You see, I see it because there is a conflict of interest here. The back in power has many, candidates whom it want to protect, whom it want to introduce through collegium. And if the collegium, it has support of other collegium members and is not having support of Chief Justice, their persons cannot be brought to High Court or to the Supreme Court. So they are seeing Chief Justice Deepak Mishra as a hurdle to fill the court with their own people. And they are raising unnecessary disputes and unnecessary issues about his power to disburse cases, about his power to create roster. These powers have, since the creation of the Supreme Court, known to be with the Chief Justice. I don't know why they can now say that these powers should not be with the Chief Justice and there should be a system. And all those judges who are cooperating in this, they have all been High Court Chief Justices. Whether as High Court Chief Justices, they gave up their powers of deciding who should be in the roster, who shall be given what case. They are asked, all those 4 judges who hold press conference and raise these issues as Chief Justices of High Court, what they did.
Right, Justice Dhingra, an important point to highlight here is this comes in the backdrop of what happened yesterday inside Supreme Court. Of course, that crucial judgment that came out which said that no probe or no SIT probe in former CBI Judge B.H. Loya's case. Do you think this is the only trigger or perhaps there are more reasons as to what led to the opposition to unite and for the first time move an impeachment motion against a CJI in the history of this country?
See, they were waiting for this decision. I don't know why they were waiting for this decision, because anybody who knows ABC of criminal law would have known that this PIL itself was motivated and there was no force in it. They are all senior advocates who are associated with the political parties. If they had known criminal law, they would have known that this PIL itself is motivated. There was no reason for moving this PIL. Why to wait for decision of this PIL for making impeachment motion? There can be no connection with the PIL and impeachment motion. Impeachment motion is their own device to malign the judiciary further. Judiciary is already facing internal disturbance, and I think they also have contributed to that, and they want to further malign it.
Justice Dhingra, for bringing us your perspective, and thank you, Jessica Taneja, for bringing us all those quick details on this news story.